Welcome to a new episode of the No Gimmicks podcast. It'll be short and sweet this week as I break down Impact's Slammiversary and NXT Takeover the end. Let's get right to Slammiversary because we had 3 title changes, including the TNA World Heavyweight Championship KO submission match between Lashley and Drew Galloway. We have a new World Heavyweight Champion in Lashley as he takes down, like I said, Drew Galloway. Very strong effort for both men. They ended up busting each other open. Lashley is now once again the champion. Nice strong run as champion for Drew Galloway, and I hope that we do see him regain the title down the line, if not from Lashley in the future. I'm not sure if these two are done or not. If they are, it'll be interesting to see who is the new number one contender. Maybe it's Jeff Hardy as he capped off his series with Matt Hardy in Full Metal Mayhem. As Matt Hardy was calling himself Broken Matt Hardy on Twitter, well, it might have been fitting when he ended up getting broken through a table on the outside of the ring after a swanton by Jeff off the top of the turnbuckle for the 1, 2, 3. Back to the title changes at Slammiversary. Eddie Edwards is your new X Division champion as he took the title from Trevor Lee in a 4-way match that included Andrew Everett and DJZ. And we also saw Sienna win for the very first time in a triple threat match against Jade and Gail Kim. Now, originally, it was supposed to be Gail Kim versus Maria Kanellis Bennett, but injury forced Maria out of the card. Thus, we got the triple threat for the TNA Knockouts Championship, and a new champion is crowned in Sienna. Decay retained the Tag Team Championships over the Bromans, and Eli Drake retained the King of the Mountain Championship over Bram. We also saw Ethan Carter III get his redemption over the Miracle Mike Bennett with a victory, and then in a match that I'm not quite sure why was it on Slammiversary. There was no build, no lead into this match. It was James Storm versus Braxton Sutter. James Storm gets the 1, 2, 3. I'm a little skeptical now as to what TNA's plan is with Braxton Sutter, who literally, this was his second match, and he loses at Slammiversary to James Storm. I guess maybe it is just kind of slowed down a little bit because you got to remember this is Slammiversary. It's a big event. So hoping that Braxton kind of isn't really getting stopped all of a sudden. And then we got James Storm. He's just going to keep moving forward. So nice strong effort on Slammiversary. Impact on Pop is Tuesday. Check that out tomorrow night. And that'll wrap up my review of Slammiversary. Okay, let's move on to NXT TakeOver the end. And I think it is the end of Finn Balor in NXT as he was once again defeated by Samoa Joe in the first ever steel cage match on NXT. Samoa Joe, Finn Balor 4, as some like to deem it, was very good. Not their best offering, but it was good nonetheless. We also, on NXT the end, saw Asuka retain over Nia Jax. Kind of surprised by that one. I thought Nia was going to go over. She, I think, still has a little bit of room to grow, so maybe down the line she will become an NXT Women's Champion. Asuka gets her first title defense victory, and we'll see where both go from there. We did have new tag team champions as the Revival regained the titles from American Alpha in the best match on NXT TakeOver the end. Just absolutely great tag team wrestling between these two. Love both teams. Definitely interesting to see where both go from here. I think American Alpha may be headed to the main roster as part of that expansion. But after, as we saw at the end of that match, they were taken down by 2 gigantic behemoths that we later found out are going by the tag team name of Authors of Pain. And their manager is Paul Ellering, the legendary manager of the Road Warriors. So it'll be interesting if American Alpha will get a chance to kind of get some revenge on these guys for their big-time beatdown at the end of that match with the Revival at NXT TakeOver the end. We also saw Austin Aries versus Nakamura. Great match. Not Nakamura's best matches. Like, I still think that one goes to his match with Sami Zayn at NXT TakeOver Dallas. But Austin Aries was a little bit different. He had a little bit more of an aerial attempt to try to take down the King of Strong Style, but was unsuccessful. Nakamura moves on. And one last thing from NXT TakeOver the end is we saw the debut of Andrade Cien Almas as he took on the Perfect 10 Ty Dillinger. Good match. Nice way to open the card. We'll see where CN goes. I loved the double moonsault spot that they had there where Dillinger rolled out of the way of the first moonsault thinking he was going to get away, and then CN just followed with another moonsault. Kind of think that that would be a good spot for him to use as a finisher going forward. Ty Dillinger continues to be a guy that is a very nice worker and a good setup man for a lot of characters. And we'll see. It's like Slammiversary, NXT Takeover the end. Very good two shows that we look back on this week, and I hope you enjoyed this week's episode of the No Gimmicks podcast. And one last thing before I go, please subscribe to us on YouTube. Follow us on Twitter at the No Gimmicks PC. Like us and follow us on Facebook under the No Gimmicks podcast. Just see the logo right there, and it will be easy to spot. Todd will be back next week as he recaps Money in the Bank. See you again.